Hello, my dear friends. It's Nick. It's the ASMR nerd. And here we are. Today, this channel turns 10 years old. Just like that, I've been making ASMR videos for a decade. And that, in and of itself, is not especially remarkable. After all, if you do anything for long enough, eventually you'll have been doing it for a decade. But I do think that 10 years is a long time to work at something with consistency, to be committed to vision, come rain or shine. And if nothing else, a 10-year anniversary does provide me with a good reminder to pause for a moment and reflect on the journey, the unique and amazing things that I've been able to do, the incredible people that I've met, and the one-of-a-kind community that we've built here together. So, considering the occasion, for one day only, I beg of you to allow me to indulge in some self-congratulatory navel-gazing and reminiscing about this channel and what it means to me. If you're not about that, I totally understand. Don't worry about it. You can skip ahead to the juicy stuff using the markers in the play bar down below if you like. For the rest of you, get ready to go on a little journey down memory lane and the history of this channel and this community. So, way back 10 years ago in February 2013, I set out to start making the kind of ASMR that I enjoyed watching. And by that, I don't mean nerdy ASMR, as you might guess, but rather sincere ASMR. The kind of ASMR where you could tell that the creator put their heart into it and that they were doing it for the right reasons. That was the kind of ASMR that I found and still find the tingliest, the easiest to relax to, the most helpful for me. And that's why I chose nerdy ASMR as my theme, because I knew it was something that I could be passionate and sincere about. And I hope that perhaps somebody somewhere would see my videos and would benefit from them in the same way I had benefited from many others. And beyond that, I had zero expectations. I had next to no knowledge about recording audio, about editing video, or about running a YouTube channel. But it turned out that those first few years were a lot of fun. The ASMR community back then, at that time, was itty bitty, so tiny compared to what it's grown into today. But what it lacked in size, it absolutely made up for in heart. And I remember on multiple occasions characterizing the ASMR community of the time as this weird little corner of the internet that defies your cynical expectations about, how people behave online. And I truly felt that way. It was something really very special. And that weird little corner of the internet welcomed me in with arms wide open. And I will be forever grateful for those early ASM artists who inspired me and encouraged me to keep doing what I was doing, and who befriended me, made me feel like I belonged there in that community. I still think fondly of many of those creators, some of whom are still making content, some who are not, but some names that come to mind are Donna ASMR, Relaxing ASMR, Softly Galoshes, and so many others. I couldn't possibly list them all, but it was a really special, tight-knit community back in the day of a bunch of weirdos just doing our weird thing. And it was very wholesome. Obviously, the community's changed a lot over the years, in some ways for the better, in many ways. And I'm speaking of the ASMR community as a whole. And in some ways, maybe for the worse, but that's the inevitable outcome of a community that grows by leaps and bounds. Certainly, it's in an incredible place today as well. But I have these very fond memories of the old days, of course. It's like always a back in my day kind of feeling, but it was a very special time. And during those days, this was all new to me, so I tried out a lot of different ideas. I threw a lot of things at the wall just to see what would stick. And many of the sort of staple series and kinds of content and channel traditions that we still enjoy here today were founded, created, started at that time in those early days. Things like the Wandering in Skyrim videos, for example. Now, I was not the first person to ever whisper over a video game or even to whisper over Skyrim. I believe that honor goes to Whisper Crystal, who has not been creating videos for a very long time, I think, but her videos are still online. You can go look them up and check them out. They are some fantastic old school whispering ASMR. But to the best of my knowledge, I was the first ASMR creator to incorporate gaming ASMR as a central pillar of my channel, and also the first to develop the for lack of a better term, wandering in style of ASMR video game tourism, if I may call it that, as opposed to just gameplay and whispering over top of gameplay. And so I'd like to believe that I played a role in creating and fostering and popularizing the concept of gaming ASMR. And since then, I've had the immense privilege of being an ambassador of sorts for the gaming ASMR community and representing our subgenre, our niche, to the wider world. I've had the opportunity to be interviewed by the likes of Kotaku, Rolling Stone. I've been on numerous podcasts and radio shows. I was a featured creator for Minecraft's 1 trillion YouTube views milestone celebration a couple of years ago. And I've had the privilege of taking part in all kinds of ASMR community collaborations and events like TingleCon and things of that sort. In 2015, I started grad school, and some of you may know that's been a very long journey for me, which only recently came to a close late last year. But at that time, it was especially intense when I started, and my upload schedule became very irregular. But eventually, I did find a new balance and a cadence that would allow me to continue to put out ASMR content regularly again. And since 2016, I have put out at least one ASMR video every single week, to the best of my knowledge, without fail. And I'm very proud of that because it hasn't always been easy, and because it embodies or represents my commitment to you and to this channel and to this community. So that is something that is very important to me and central to what I do here. And we'll talk a bit more about that later, as I have some more thoughts on that, I guess. But in the years since, the channel has continued to grow in new and exciting ways. In 2017, I started unboxing and reviewing tech products related to gaming primarily, and my mechanical keyboard obsession began in earnest, and that has, of course, since become another pillar of my content and this channel. And I also started streaming on Twitch in 2018, twitch.tv/theASMRnerd. There's a link down below this video. If you've never been out to join us, you really should. So that means that this year, 2023, in fact, today, the day this video goes up, is my 5th anniversary of my Twitch channel. And of course, Twitch has become something that I absolutely love. Streaming on Twitch has become one of my favorite things about this channel and this community. And I think it enriched this community immensely. Just live streaming in general, getting to know so many of you so much better. And of course, the channel continues to grow slowly these days, if I'm being honest, but steadily. It has only ever grown, and it continues to grow. And to this day, it continues as we approach another big milestone, 100,000 subscribers, which I hope we can reach together this year. So for something that I started in my bedroom at my parents' house a decade ago with essentially zero expectations, all of this has grown to become one of the single most rewarding and enriching things that I have ever done. And as much as there's all these amazing things that I've talked about here over the last little bit, the one thing that stands out above all, that I value the most, is the amazing people that I've had the privilege of meeting and the connections that I've been so lucky to make. Of course, I have made some amazing friends. You know who you are. But beyond, my immediate sort of friends that I've made through this channel and this community. I've also been touched by the lives of, and hopefully had a small but meaningful impact on the lives of countless other people, whether in passing, just through a single video, or for some of you that have been with the channel a long time, this connection that's lasted for years and years and decades, or not decades, but a decade. I get messages from some of you about, how you were in, I don't know, elementary school or middle school or something like that. And now you're in college, or you've graduated college. And it blows my mind to think how much we've grown together, and how many people I've been lucky enough to meet in this way. And I've heard from so many different people from so many different walks of life over the years. It boggles the mind. People like, anxious college students, sleep-deprived mothers who say that my content helps them, but also their kids to sleep at night. Pet owners who are ecstatic that their pet loves my videos. To combat veterans struggling with PTSD, or paramedics, or just all manner of people, grieving folks, widows, everyday people living their lives, struggling for one reason or another with anxiety, sleep challenges, or just looking to wind down, focus better on their work, whatever. But thousands and thousands of people from so many different walks of life. And to hear from so many different people in so many different situations, to hear from them that what I do, to hear from you that what I do helps in some meaningful way, is unbelievably rewarding. And it's you, all of you, but you, that remind me that, every day, that what I do here is worthwhile, that the time and effort that I put into this channel is worthwhile, that has value, and that it's multiplied out thousands of times. And in that context, how could I not do this? How could I not keep doing this? And so I guess what I'm getting at is, thank you. Thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart. This is something so, so special and dear to me. And you are all an incredibly meaningful and important part of this. And I'm just so very grateful to have this opportunity to experience this with you all, to build this together. And so much has changed over the last 10 years. Obviously, I've changed. I'm not the same person I was back in 2013 when I made my first video. You are not the same person you were when you first found this channel. The world has changed dramatically, and some change is good. Some change is scary. The last 3 years in particular have been very challenging for many people for many reasons, but it feels like, the saying goes, we live in increasingly uncertain times. And so as of late, I've been reflecting on this and reflecting on what the value of this channel really is and what I want to focus on as sort of the core tenets, I guess, of what I have here. It's shifted over the years, of course, but when I think back to my original goals to create sincere ASMR content to help people, I think that is still absolutely central to the reason why I keep doing this. But over the last decade, another reason has emerged, and that is the concept of having something reliable, having something solid, an anchor that is consistent, that people can return to, no matter how unprecedented or trying the times may be, no matter how many years it's been since you may first stumble across my channel. I want this to be a comforting place that you can always come back to and rely on, like coming back to visit an old friend or even family. And this is, of course, for you, because I believe that in a world that feels so uncertain these days, there is a lot of value. We lack a lot of the time that rock that we can come back to for various reasons. But it's also for me, which sounds maybe a bit selfish, but this channel, this community, all of you have also been my rock through some really challenging times. And so I think there's a beautiful mutual relationship there, where we can be there for each other. And I think this is the kind of thing that only reveals itself after a very long time, when you have these long perspectives. This isn't something I could have conceptualized or imagined when I first created this channel, because I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know where it was going to go, but it has gone places beyond what I could have possibly imagined, and had meaning to me beyond what I could possibly have guessed. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's very special. And again, I want to thank you all for being a part of this. Whether, even if maybe you just got here, I don't know, maybe this is your first video of mine you've ever seen, and you're like, who is this guy? Why is he talking about himself so much? Why is he tearing up on camera? But I still appreciate you being here. And of course, those of you who have been here since the very beginning, you give me so much confidence, and you remind me that what I'm doing is, like I said, still good, still worthwhile. So I've been rambling. I have a bunch of notes written out here. You might have noticed me sneaking peeks down at them every once in a while, but I'm off script now. But I want to end not totally end, because actually after this I want to talk about the future of the channel. But this little retrospective, I want to end it with a metaphor, which is that I think of this channel and this community like a garden that I have been planting and tending and nurturing for the last decade. And in the early days, I threw out a lot of seed just to see what would come up, what would grow strong in the soil. And some of those things I really liked. And so I nurtured those, watered them, tended them, pruned them. And over the years, many of those things have grown to be big, strong pillars of this channel, this community. Things like the monitoring and Skyrim videos, like a great spreading oak tree, which many of you like to come back to, year after year to sit in the shade of its leaves. And there are some things that just withered away, and that's okay too. There will always be those things, and we learn lessons from those. We learn lessons from those. I could do a whole video on the things that I've learned over the years, things that you might not expect. There's the immediate sort of practicalities of running a YouTube channel, creating videos, recording audio. But there's so much more to, managing a community, just as there is with managing a garden. Sometimes some plants will shade out other plants. So you might suck up resources that another seedling that you really want to encourage needs to survive. And so you might have to selectively thin your plants. You might have to sometimes even take out a big old tree to allow the light to flood in and allow a new growth to sprout and take hold. And so I guess where I'm going with this is that as much as I want this channel to be a rock, an anchor, something steady, consistent, reliable, things do change around the channel still, and will continue to change in ways both big and small. I'm constantly evaluating the kind of content that I'm putting out to try and figure out what it is that you all want to see, what helps you the most, but also to satisfy myself. This channel has been a creative outlet for many years, just as a garden can be a creative outlet. So it needs to be rewarding and satisfying to me from an internal perspective as well. Sometimes people ask me, like, what's the key to the longevity of my channel? 10 years. It's a while. And it wasn't a foregone conclusion that this garden was going to thrive, that there would even still be a garden here to this day. Many people start gardens only for them to wither away and lie fallow. When I reflect on why I'm still here doing this, obviously, many of the things that we've talked about here already come to mind as being incredibly rewarding. But the other half of that has to be something that I still enjoy. Because if you're not making content that you love and enjoy, then you're fighting an uphill battle. It's going to be a tough one. So, anyway, I'm not really sure what my point, I guess, is at this point, other than to say that this is a beautiful garden that we have here together. I hope you love it as much as I do. We will continue to plant new seeds, to prune and thin and weed and water and nurture this garden for many years to come. And I cannot wait to see what this garden is another decade from now. So, on that note, let's talk a bit about the present and the future of the channel. So, obviously, this is something I'm still committed to and intend to keep doing for as long as I can. But life changes. My life is changing. I'm at an interesting transitional point right now, actually. As I alluded to earlier, I finished up grad school, graduated with my PhD last fall. And so I have been looking for, jobs, a career where I can put my degree to work. As of right now, I still do not have such a career. But there's a couple of very good opportunities that I'm waiting to hear back from. And I have a very good feeling about one of them in particular. But as of right now, the future is uncertain. And this channel is a major focus. And so lately I've been trying to capitalize on that and put out more content than ever before. Maybe some of you have noticed I've been putting out 2-3 videos a week for the last while. I've been streaming twice a week, 3 times a week if you include my ASMR D&D group, Roll for Relaxation. You should check us out here on YouTube. We live stream Monday nights. It's super fun. You all should come hang out with us. That's beside the point. But yeah, I'm trying to go hard on this. And I'm trying to develop new content and new ways to engage with all of you as well. In the future, I might have to pull back a little bit, especially if I, do end up with a conventional career, putting my science to good use and all that. And it might only be for a time, like when I started grad school. It took me a year or so to kind of refine that equilibrium. But my commitment to you is that I'm going to do my very best to, at a bare minimum, upload 1 video a week and stream once a week. As I said, right now, as of time of recording, I can do more than that. And it's been very freeing. I'm really loving it. I'm just trying to learn how to manage my time to do more than that and think about now all these things that I've planned and ideas that I've had for the channel for years that I've had to just keep on the back burner all that time because I just haven't had the time, energy, or mental capacity to address them. Finally, these things are bubbling back up to the surface and it's really exciting. It feels very indulgent, actually, to be able to dedicate that time and effort and thought that much to this channel, but it feels good. And other changes are on the horizon too in my life. As some of you may know, I got engaged on New Year's Eve to my longtime partner, Sarah. And so, life's moving, right? Life's moving, things happen, but that's all in the future. So for the time being, I'm putting what I can into this channel, and I hope to maintain my commitment to this channel for a very long time to come. But speaking of the future, a few little peeks at some of the stuff that's going to be happening. One is that I'm in the process of commissioning some new channel art, which might not be as exciting to you all as it is to me. The channel art, like the banner, the icon, all that stuff that we have now. I love it. Don't get me wrong. It is absolutely classic, iconic, and it was done by an individual named Matt Taylor way back in 2015. He won a contest on the channel that I ran because I didn't have the money or the knowledge to really go out and commission art. So I just ran a contest and said, hey, if anyone would like to submit some channel art designs, feel free to do so. The winner of the contest gets a custom video. And so Matt was the winner of that, and his graphics and art have served diligently and done an amazing job for, what is that, 8 years now? Almost. 7.5, something like that. But also, change happens. So anyway, I want to refresh the art a little bit with something that maybe is a bit more reflective of where the channel and the content is at these days. So that's something that I wasn't able to get sorted out in time for this 10th anniversary, but that you can look forward to, I guess, in the next little while, the coming months, we'll say. And it will have familiar elements. Don't worry, it's not going to be a total departure from what you know, but it will be fresh as well. Again, you probably don't care too much about that. It's probably more something I care about, but I'm excited for it. The other thing is I have started a Patreon. Now, I haven't talked about money at all this whole video, actually. But, the channel and money and the choice to monetize the channel, that was all a real challenge for me back in the day. I actually had the option to monetize the channel for years before I finally took the plunge and did it. And the reason for that gets back to what I was talking about originally, my original goal for the channel, which is that it always has to be sincere. The heart always has to be there. And I always have to be doing this for the right reasons. That is crucial to me, always has been, and it always will be. And so I was afraid for many years that by flipping that monetization switch on YouTube, it would change the dynamic, change the feel of what I was doing. I've been lucky enough to always do this as a hobby, right? And that, I think, is, again, part of what keeps my passion up. When it becomes about, well, not about, but when money's in the picture, there is a temptation or tendency for it to start to feel like work, something that you have to do. You have to focus on the numbers. The numbers have to go up. You got to focus on earning revenue, maximizing your CPM, getting those sponsorships. And this isn't a tirade against people who do this professionally. I know many of them are good friends of mine. They make their livings doing this, which I think is really, really cool, and is, yet again, kind of a different sort of thing. But this channel is also at that interesting transition point where it, just by virtue of its size, the kind of content I make, is sort of in that awkward space, I guess, between a hobbyist thing and a business thing. And over the years, that sort of has crept in. And I think that, well, I hope anyway, that I've done a good job of keeping the heart of the channel, keeping the soul of the channel intact. and not making too many compromises, in the name of chasing income. um, and sometimes it's hard because, the income is very helpful. It helped get me through grad school, and it helps me right now. I'll be honest, the sponsorships help me an awful lot right now, because I don't have a job. This is the one thing I'm doing right now. This is my focus. So anyway, so many people made Patreons many years ago, and I actually created an account, prepared my Patreon. I was going to launch it years ago, but it just didn't feel right. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I didn't. And I don't know, if I, gave up on thousands of dollars of income, I don't know. But I revisited the idea recently as I was coming up to this channel's 10th anniversary. I thought more about it. And, you've probably noticed that the number of sponsored videos that I've been taking on lately has increased. I guess more than it has ever been. And I think that's really cool. I enjoy the opportunity to work with a lot of these companies and check out a lot of these products and share them with you. And I always do my best to be very transparent and upfront and only feature products that I think are, worth sharing with you guys. And all that kind of stuff. And I've developed really good relationships with some of those companies, like, hey, I don't know, Into the AM, right? The t-shirt guys. But the more of that stuff I take on, the more my content is beholden to those agreements with the sponsors. And at some point, it starts to feel like, you're not calling the shots entirely anymore. And of course I am. I can say yes or no to any sponsorship I like, whatever. But there's always just a pressure or a tendency to be like, well, yeah, sure. I could do another keyboard video, for example, make some money, check out a cool keyboard. I know that many of you will enjoy it, but it might also be at the expense of something else that I would have done otherwise, some other idea I had in mind, some creative outlet that I wanted to indulge, or some kind of, viewer requests that I wanted to do. So, there's always an opportunity cost, I guess, what I'm saying, to taking on those sponsorships. This is becoming extremely rambly. I had planned for this to be much more concise. But if you are still here watching, good on you. Thanks for sticking with me. So what I'm getting down to is, I have a Patreon now. If all goes well, you should be able to check it out right now. Link down in the video description. If it's not there, hopefully it'll be there in a day or two. But for those who don't know, Patreon allows viewers or fans or whatever, members of a community or supporters of a creator to pledge an amount of money, in this case monthly, to support what that person's creating. And along the way, you get to earn some extra perks, exclusive bonuses. So I tried to come up with a handful of things that I thought that you guys would really enjoy, that were meaningful, and at a handful of price tiers that I hope will accommodate, everybody, and suit your needs one way or another. So all patrons get early access to my Sunday videos from now on, in theory. That's the idea, which means that normally I release my videos on Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, or thereabouts, plus or minus an hour or two, depending on, sometimes things happen. But so the idea is that anybody who supports on Patreon will get to watch those videos a whole day early, as of Saturday evening Pacific time. I hope I can make that happen. It's going to require me to totally retool the way I make my videos and schedule them, but it's something I wanted to do for you guys because I want you to feel like if you are, putting the money into support, that you are also getting something of value out of it. Also, all patrons, regardless of tier, will get their name in the credits at the end of each of my videos for as long as you're, joining or subscribed, whatever, on Patreon. So that'll be in text at the end of each of my videos. There will be, a list of names. So if you want to see your name in lights on my videos, it doesn't have to be your personal name. It can be your username, obviously. All the Patreon tiers get that as a thank you. It's a genuine way to say, hey, thank you so much for supporting what I'm doing here. So that's all tiers. I named the tiers after the unrelenting force shout, Fus Ro Da. So first tier is Fus, second tier is Fus Ro, third tier Fus Ro Da. The second tier gets what we've talked about, in addition to access to a monthly poll. So what I'm going to do is one of my videos every month from now on out is going to be decided by the tier 2 and tier 3 patrons, as well as YouTube members. I'll talk about the YouTube membership in a second. It's essentially the same thing. Should be, anyway, as close as I can make it. But you can do it here through YouTube. That's what the join button is all about. If you see a join button below this video or any other videos, it's a very similar kind of structure, allowing you to get these bonuses and directly support the channel as well. That's the essence of it. But I wanted to talk about Patreon first. Anyway, tier 2, the Fusro tier, gets access to this exclusive monthly poll where you can have direct input. You could have a say in, my stomach is having a say, have a say in the content that you're seeing on this channel. Vote for your favorite thing. Maybe you want more thief videos. Maybe you want, I don't know, whatever, Skyrim Wonder, I don't know. We can figure it out. We'll talk about it. And you can vote for it. And then the tier 3, the Fus Ro Da tier, also gets a spoken shout out. My stomach is giving spoken shout outs. Also gets a very special spoken thank you and shout out at the end of each of my videos. So whereas everyone, all supporters, patrons, get their names listed at the end of the videos, the tier 3, the Fusro Da patrons, will get to hear me say their name and thank them personally at the end of each video. So that's the plan. That's where it sits right now. Now, of course, I am always open to feedback. If you guys think that there could be better perks, or that the prices need to change, or have great ideas you think I should implement on the Patreon, let me know. I want you guys to be a part of this. And that's why I'm doing this. The idea is this allows me to be less reliant on sponsorships or on income from YouTube adverts, which can be quite variable, and allow me to have more freedom to create the kind of content that I want to create and that you want to create. So we're not beholden to advertisers. And this isn't to say that I will never do any more sponsored videos. Like I probably will still do some because, quite frankly, I enjoy doing a lot of them. And my relationship with some sponsors is really good. But my stomach has decided I'm hungry. It's time to eat. That means I gotta wrap this video up because we're like coming up on an hour. But what it does do is it affords me some additional freedom. And I think that'll be really, really nice. Hopefully for me and for you. So again, that Patreon link is down below this here video. You can click on through, check it out, see if it works for you. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comments as well. This is all open to experimentation and change. So if you really, really hate it, you can let me know too. That's fine. I can take it. And I would be happy to hear your feedback. So then the other thing, as I mentioned, is the YouTube membership. Trying to get that set up before this video comes out. Hopefully it is. There's like an approval process for some of these things, so I'm not quite sure how long that takes. Hopefully it'll all be live when you see this video. But the point is, it's very similar to Patreon. The perks at each tier, I'm going to try and keep the same. So the YouTube members, if you join here, you will get your name in the credits. You'll get early access to the videos, all that good stuff. And so on and so forth up the tiers, you know, the polling, the voting every month at tier 2 and tier 3, and then the spoken shoutouts at tier 3. In addition to YouTube members, you will get some special badges so that you can be easily recognized here in the YouTube comments as supporters, as well as special emotes that are exclusive to members of this channel. Still trying to figure out exactly what those are. Hopefully I'll have those ready by the time this video is live and by the time that launches. I think I have to, so I'll figure out something. But those are some little extras as well. So that's, I was going to say the long and the short, but it's just the long and the long of it all. That is the ASMR nerd at 10 years. That is where we are. Again, I literally could not do any of this, have any of this without you. And I sincerely hope that this is a place, a thing, a concept, a community, content that is meaningful to you. There's some exciting milestones coming up. Like I said, 100,000 subscribers on the horizon. 100,000, it's a big number. It is just a number, but it also represents something. And it's always sort of been a goal in the back of my mind. It feels validating, I think, in a sense. It will feel to hit 100,000. You know, you get the check mark next to your name on YouTube. You get the plaque, that stuff, you know, that. I'm not going to lie. I think that'll feel legitimizing in a way. Although maybe it shouldn't. I mean, like, obviously what we have here at, 95, whatever, 1,000 subscribers is incredibly legitimate and wholesome and special. You know, getting over that 1,000, 100,000 threshold is not going to magically make it more legitimate, but I don't know. It's just a goal I've had. So I'm pretty excited about that. I hope that we can hit that this year. With your help, I know we can get there. Everything that you can do, or that that you do is, so valuable. Whether it's subscribing, I never ask for that in my videos. You might have noticed. I trust you all to make that decision for yourself. But in case there happens to be some of you that are sitting there watching this video through to the bitter end that aren't somehow subscribed to this channel, it's a big help. You know, the likes, the comments, any kind of, sharing or interacting. It all makes such a huge difference. It is, I literally could not do this without you, like I said. So, I don't know how to end this. I scripted the beginning so well, and now we're just into completely uncharted territory. We went off the rails ages ago, and now I'm just rambling. It's late. I'm clearly hungry. So, but hey, this is a wonderful celebration of something that has been and grown to be such a significant, rewarding, amazing part of my life. Thank you for being part of it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And I look very forward to seeing you back here next time. Bye for now, my friends.